The Wellness Show, episode number 319.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. Welcome to The Wellness Show. We're live on Facebook, and we got lots to bring you up to date with regard. This is Tyson Bannigan, the energy detective, helping you understand what your energy system is all about, how to take your power back, how to stand in your truth, how to clear yourself, how to have clear boundaries, all those good things. That's all has to do with your energy. And of course, our co-host, the one and only.
Laura Cool.
Who are you anyway?
Laura Cool. Fourth generation healer.
That's right. And you're a fifth generation.
Fourth.
Right? Fourth. See, we can't get it right. He's one of these multi-generational psychic women.
Well, some people would beg to differ on that one.
That's right. And so I'm a bit of a wizard and an empath myself. I'm also into energy. My forte is helping you understand what your energy system is all about and how to take back your personal power. And we're live with you for the next hour. There's multiple ways that you can get in touch with you. Above my head is a brand new sign for the toll-free number. And I have to get used to, this is the reverse of how I move. So I look like a bobbing head as I try and get out of the way of this sign, but we'll get used to that. So there you are. That's the toll-free number to phone in. And also you can join us on Zoom. The link is there in the show notes. And you can also put your questions in the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy Facebook page. Now, this is live on multiple different pages, but if you really want to be caught, in other words, if you want your questions to be answered, you really need to be in the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy page, because that's where Laura's going to be looking for your comments. So if you're watching on the Dowsing Energy Healing closed Facebook page, you need to come over to the Academy. So before I forget, Laura, you were saying, well, Tyson, are we ever going to change the name of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy? I thought, well, no, it's got a track record about how awesome it is. But we do own also the website, thewellnessacademy.ca. So we may morph into being the wellnessacademy.ca, which is easier to remember, which suits and matches the Wellness Show. So there you are. So
And you have the wellness store, which you can purchase really amazing things on. I know that I've purchased quite a few things on there myself. And tell them your website on that, because
that's www.thewellnessstore.ca. So now there's www.thewellnessacademy.ca, www.thewellnessstore.ca. And so I guess you were really starting to become the health and wellness guy.
exactly.
I'm the health and wellness guy.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know about these labels or whatever. But anyway, we're live with you, and we want to bring you up to date with a number of different things that are going on. I think the most exciting thing is we're going to TV. Right, Laura?
It is exciting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a 12-week run, and we're going to be on the Awake TV network. So if you want to just put that into Google and go to Awake TV network, it's interesting because we'll be in front of a brand new audience, and we'll be simulcasting. So we'll be broadcasting to that group at the same time as we're broadcasting to you. So we'll just be opening up the show to a wider audience. So quite excited about that. It's a 12-week run, and our first show will be March the 12th. So there's two ways you can join us. You can join us through Wake TV, or you can join us right here. So that's the biggest news coming up. So we're pretty excited about that. And if we have any questions out there in question land?
Not yet. Last week we had a bunch right away.
Yeah.
Maybe some people will get brave and call in the 1-866-369-7464.
Yeah, that's right. I guess I better find my cell phone. Oh, there it is. Good.
Is it on?
Yeah, make sure that it's on, right?
No, I have to make sure my,
Anybody home? Yeah, I think it's on. So, yeah, so we're ready to go. So while we're waiting, we're about to close the doors on the Mastermind group, which is for empath, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and to help you take your business to the next level. I'm excited by this program. It's a small group of about 8 people that will meet twice a month in order to co-creatively learn how to work together and help each other take their businesses to the next level. And so we have some really wonderful people that have signed up for that. There'll be 2 of us as coaches who will be helping you get through your, get out of your own way. And why did you incarnate? What's your alignment with your business? And how can we make that really work for you so you can deliver your empathic gifts to the world? So excited about doing this as a program that's been in the works for a number of years, and now we get to actually launch it. So that's a 6-month program. It's $333 US. So come and join us. That will be a lot of fun, a lot of learning, and a lot of growing together. So, the expression where 2 or more are gathered, there am I. Well, think about it. 8 people all focused on helping you get from where you are in your business to where you want to be. The results will be very, very powerful. So that's the second thing I wanted to talk about. And is there still anybody awake out there?
There is. We have 3 questions. We have, what's the best way view what's the best way I think what's the best way to view the fear campaign the world has created with the coronavirus?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I just watched some videos just before that and before having dinner, and yeah, you can get into fear pretty darn quick. I mean, the information that's coming about coronavirus is, doesn't look good. But the thing to remember is all energetics. So we're talking about your bioenergy field here. So if you can manage your bioenergy field in 2 different ways. One is being able to deal with outside influences like the electromagnetic transmissions, smartphones, EMF, smart meters, and now 5G, which is mind control. All that is really going to be impacting us in a serious way. So the way that you could do that, and I was working with a client today, and he's very empathic, and he has a twin brother, and he said, I cannot really tell what's my thought and his thought. And that's sort of indicative of what's coming with us in the future with 5G is, where does our thought begin and end, and where is the thought that's being sent to us? Where's that boundary? Because it's going to seem like that thought has come from inside your brain. But when you do the deep clearing protocol, you're creating a really clear boundary about what's yours and what somebody else's. That boundary will really show up, and you'll say, no, that's not coming from my true nature. That's something that's impinging on my human mind consciousness. So you will know that that is not your thought form. So this is how you handle all the 5G and all the stuff that's going to be broadcast to you under mind control as we move forward. So that's how you deal with that. On the coronavirus is a way of working your immune system so that you get violently ill, right? So again, how do you deal with that? Well, your first and foremost important thing you can do is be healthy. And that is taking care of your immune system. And how do you do that? Well, one of the ways to crash your system really, really quickly is fear or doubt or shame or guilt. And all those energies that we talk about. So there's a borderline. If you look in the book, Letting Go, in the list of energies from apathy at the bottom to enlightenment at the top, the middle line is below that you're losing energy, and all of the forces of nature and evolution are trying to take you off the planet. Above that, you're gaining energy and you're aligned with planetary intent. Therefore, you're gaining energy with every thought, word, and deed. So this is where pure thought really comes into play. You create the world with every thought, word, deed, and action. That's a Buddhist principle. It's also in the Tao. But this is critically important because you have to be so careful of your thoughts that you're generating positive thoughts that are life-supporting, right? That keep you on that borderline and give you energy, which is really universal energy from divine source and Gaia that supports you, right? Or if you're about that bottom of the line, health-wise and everything, you're going to be part of the process of being taken off the planet. So the process of trying to control you through a coronavirus or anything like that is to bring your level down so they can take you off the planet, right? It's known as population control. But if you're healthy and you're clear about where your boundary is between what's being projected onto you and what's coming from source consciousness, your connection with God, and if you're clear health-wise about keeping your energy system up through pure thought, through intention, and and good food, for example, being able to be aware that organic food has more life energy, and that we're really light eaters, right? We're consuming light. So it's not the actual plant that's giving this energy or the animal. We're looking at that's all discarded in the body. We're each actually digesting the light or the prana from that. So all of your foods, the closer they are to the source of light, the more effective they are for keeping your energy up. So
Yeah.
that would mean
doing things like being creative and dancing and singing and playing music.
Yeah.
I think those things help as well, just to keep that, or
Exactly.
watching a funny movie, laughing will help with that, to break up that fear. If you wake up and in the middle of the night and you're super stuck in fear, which I get some clients who are,
Yeah.
I say, like, turn on on the comedy channel and just laugh for a little while and then go back to sleep instead of laying there in fear,
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I mean, think of Charlie Chaplin playing Hitler. We all took Hitler very, very serious. But if you look at Charlie Chaplin
But
playing Hitler and bouncing the earth up, you start to laugh. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous, right? You
Mhm.
see behind the fear. So why not put our dear President Trump in diapers, for example? Just imagine him in diapers. Right?
Well, that makes me laugh anyway.
A big fooler in his mouth.
Can we
saying,
get a picture of that?
They're not treating me right.
See, just laughing.
It's not fair. Okay. So that'll do it. It'll do it every time, right?
I'm sorry, your hair is too white for this.
It isn't combed properly. But yeah, the point is, that if you got him sucking his thumb, which is generally what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
If you treat me bad, I hate you, and I'm going to bury you. But if you treat me nice, then I know that I'm the nicest guy. So you can't say anything bad about me because it's either false news, or you're trying to take me out, or you're anti-American, or you're whatever. But it's all your fault.
Right.
Your fault. Anyway, we don't want to pick on that. Yeah. Trump's doing his job. Bless him. Glad it's him, not me. He's doing this thing. He's waking up America. He's exposing the underbelly of America. It's coming forward. It's no longer hidden. We can see the craziness of, baseball hats on backwards and guns and kicking tires and, anti this and anti-feminism and anti against your auntie and your uncle. It's crazy, but it has to come up. It has to come up in order to be cleared. So, it's a blessing in disguise. There's no more as it's sort of hidden under the rug, let's put it that way. It's not swept under the rug. It's all there. All the dirty laundry's out. Thank you, Mr. Trump. That's why we need to put you in dirty diapers, because you're exposing all the dirty laundry of America. Everybody can see it now. So thank you. Thank you very much. This is not the comedy hour. It doesn't say comedy hour up there, does it? No. Sorry, got carried away there.
It does not. It doesn't. But they can call in to the number near your head if they'd like to call in and ask a question.
Yeah.
So here's the second question for the evening: is while muscle testing or pendulum dowsing, does it matter if I get my information from my higher self or my subconscious mind?
Well, which do you want? I mean, if it's so that's actually a very good question. I was going to be sort of throw it off and say, "Are you crazy?" But no, it's a good question, because if I'm asking about my health of my body, then talking to an archangel or even to God doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I'd rather talk to my elemental I or my body and talk to it. What do you need? What do you need to be in harmony, right? What do you need? So when I'm dowsing, I'm talking to that elemental I inside of myself that knows how to run all my systems, like my breathing and and my heart and all those things that I don't have to worry about, thank goodness. So I would ask the question at that level for that type of information. If it was for guidance, what do I need to do? Is this the right decision? Do I need to be working with this person? Or should I be reading this book? Or is this in my highest and best interest? I want to be connected to source. I don't want to be connected to my subconscious, unconscious, collective conscious, no consciousness, the sleep consciousness. No, thank you. I want to get it directly from source, right? Because that's the only thing that's relevant. Because the human mind brain is chattering 24/7. It's like the monkey mind. It won't shut up. So the information that's coming from that, you can't rely on it, because they're going to tell you one thing here, and then it's going to say, oh, yes, but, oh, no, oh, maybe, and you're going to be into your pros and cons and going like this. So I like to go to source, where I get it direct from source. This is what needs to be done. It cuts through the yin and the yang. You're going to the Tao. You're going to the upper level beyond the yin and the yang. Hopefully that makes sense.
And for some people, it takes practice and time to know when you're centered in that space. So for me alone, I know that prayer and meditation help me with that. What about you, Tyson? What do you do to make sure that you're in that center space and that you're getting your information actually from source and not from something else? That's like a question I get all the time. How do you know that the information that you're getting is from source?
Well, there's some really basic, simple questions to ask to start with it. The first thing is, if you're having a feeling, the first question you want to ask is this mine or somebody else's? Okay, so that's again that we're going back to that boundary, right? Is somebody in my energy field that shouldn't be there? So is this thought mine or somebody else's? So I only want to deal with what's relevant for me, not the rest of the world's information at this time. So that's one of the questions I like to ask. Is it mine or somebody else's?
You can also sway test, right?
Yeah, and another really easy question is, before you do even do the sway test, is this to make me feel good? Because I mean, I'm asked all the time, well, how, I get these voices and they feel them in my head and whatever, and this voice is telling me this and that. And I said, what's it telling you? Is it beneficial? Does it make you happy? The answer is no. Well, then you need to it needs an exorcism. You need to send it to the light. So the energies and beings that support the light are full of joy. They're full of gifts. They're not that vengeful God that says, you do this or I'm going to, hellfire and damnation. That is not who you want to be listening to. So that's another really simple one. Before you get into what sort of things you need to know before it's from source or not. So if it's vengeful, if it's pushing you around, doing things you don't want to do, then you need to have an exorcism. You need to send that being to the light. You do not want to listen to it.
And you know what I just realized? Again with the laughter.
Yeah.
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 I think today's word should be laughter or joy or happiness.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you again, Donald in diapers. That's the theme song for today. If it makes you laugh.
I'm never going to get that out of my head now. Thank you.
Yeah. It's going to free you up. So yeah. So, okay. So how do I know for source? I mean, that's a really good question. And I just happen to have it in front of me right now. I'm working with one coach, and that's all we do. All we do is that feeling that's coming up right now. Where is it rooted? Is it coming from my true nature, or is it coming from my human mind consciousness? And if it's coming from my human mind consciousness, is what is it that I want? Is it that I'm a fear? Is it because I don't feel secure? Or is it because I want to have control, right? So which one of those is that I'm trying to, or that I have fear about, because it's all human mind conscious is all rooted in fear. So most of them is I'm losing control. So one of the biggest things about getting directions from source consciousness is, well, I'm gonna, who am I? I mean, I'm getting all this information from source. How do I fit into that? I won't even exist. Well, you don't exist as your human mind consciousness, that little I. Not one doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it's still there, but it's not running the show. It's like a bigger presence is saying, all right, little one, you've had your day, you can calm down, you just, you're okay, you're in your diaper, so you just play. You're the little child that can have fun. Your job is to have fun and be joyful. And you can calm down. You're not running the show. Over here, we're getting guidance and we're being directed. So we're letting the ego, we're letting our smaller self, our inner child feel safe. And most of our inner childs do not feel safe. They're scared to death. They're running programs that come from abuse, control, misunderstanding, whatever happened between the age of 7 that we misunderstood. We're running all these programs that run our lives. And when you allow that to all settle down, by saying, what is it that I want out of this? This emotion, do I want to control? Do I don't feel I'm out of control? Or I feel that I'm not safe, right? I'm not being heard. And when you answer those questions and get behind it and let it go, your consciousness rises and you are now into bliss.
That's true.
And being in bliss, I got to tell you, is amazing. And who doesn't want to operate their life from bliss? Because all of a sudden, the whole concept, there's not enough time, turns into unlimited time. And I'm not doing anything, yet it gets done.
Right.
Right?
And it gets done with joyfulness.
And it's done with
No.
joyful and effortlessness. It's, believe me, people, it's the reverse of what we've been taught.
Listen, I've been working with you since October, and I can attest that there's nothing but joyful happiness now. I talk to people every single day, and I sit and laugh. And it used to be that I was always in the, what's going on? It's so bad. Blah, life sucks. Blah. Nah, not anymore. Now, who's the boss? Who tells me that all the time? Tyson tells me all the time, who's the boss? Take control of your life. Think the things that you want, and then add and do the deep cleaning protocol. Thank you. Again, do the deep cleaning protocol. And as you do that, the joy will naturally bubble up and come out of you. And of course, work with people too when you can't do it yourself. Reach out. That's why we're here.
Yeah, one of my clients said, but I'm not ready. I'm not well enough myself and to work with other clients. And I'm saying, well, wait a minute. By helping other clients, the energy flowing through you to assist others is going to heal you too. So it's not as though you wait for the magic moment when you're all whole and perfect and sound, and then you go and heal the world, right? We're not, we're not going to all be Jesus and wait for that Jesus moment before we can walk on water and then we go do this. Right. No, we're all in the process of doing this. We're all here to help each other with the unique gifts we have. And some of us are better over here and some of us are better over there. And so we're helping each other take back our personal power and stand in our truth. So don't wait around until you do this course or that course, or you know how to walk on water, or you have to be better in order. Just do it, right? Just reach out and love somebody, make them laugh, right? Just be there for somebody other than yourself. And that energy flowing through you and your love to give to somebody else is going to be the healing that you deserve yourself.
Well, and also don't be afraid to laugh. That's what I find with a lot of people, that they're afraid to just laugh or cry, for that matter, or just feel something. Everyone's walking around like, you see Americans, they're all like straight face and they're just walking along. I go to other countries and they're all laughing and smiling. It freaked me out. I was like, why are you guys so happy? Americans, they go to a concert and they're all sitting there.
Yeah.
What are you doing? This is supposed to be the night out. Like, laugh, learn to laugh again. Okay, we have another question.
All right.
Heather Wallace, I had a question about my sinus, heavy head issues and how to resolve.
Yeah, sinuses, like, why are you all stuffed up? You know, what is in your head, right? Why can't you clear your head? Why can't you get the snot out of your nose? I mean, I'm being crude, but you know, it's interesting, you know, the expressions we use always have some hidden meaning, like, I'm gonna beat the snot out of you, or, you know, like,
Wow.
snot is like plugging you up. Like, why can't you allow yourself to breathe deeply? Like, what is in the way? And the only thing that can possibly be in the way is some unresolved trauma, conflict, some emotional stuff you haven't dealt with, that you haven't got to the bottom of yet. And your body's saying,
Wow.
hey, I'm going to give you a stuffed nose. I'm going to get you all blocked up because like psychologically and emotionally you're blocked. And if I can put it in your sinus, I don't have to give you something more serious, but you know that you have to blow your nose, which is blowing the snot out, right? To move it through and get it out. So why is there mucus in your system? Why does it need to clear? And behind it could be diet, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be that, you know, I don't know about you, but if I eat the wrong food,
Yeah.
I'm going to feel it in my sinuses, right?
Dairy is
Yeah.
a huge
Yeah,
one.
and so
And
like a
gluten.
foregone conclusions.
And
So if it's a reoccurring thing that won't. It's also, you know, stuffed sinuses can lead to headaches as well. So, you know, is there some part of this something that giving you a headache, or a precursor to a headache? Yeah, sinuses, the breathing, it all has to do with the breath. So if we were doing Vipassana meditation, the technique is supposedly from the way that the Buddha meditated. I don't know if that's true, but you do the breath through coming through your nose, right? And you're feeling the breath in the nostrils, the warmth of the breath. So the first thing that you clear by taking breathing through, you go through the nostrils, you follow it down, and then you go through every single organ in your body and you cleanse it with your breath. But the gateway where you start is your nostrils.
Interesting.
So maybe you're on the start of a journey of going inward to do the deeper work to clear.
And that's her next question. She's also interested in learning about my gifts. That's up to Laura to share, I think.
I'll start sharing then.
I think what she's asking is for me to tell her what her gifts are.
Well, everybody has their gifts, and a really good way to figure that out is numerology. And there's different forms of numerology, some more valid than others. The one that I like to use is Dan Millman, The Life You Were Born to Live. And why is that useful? Because it really resonates with me. It tells me what this incarnation is all about. What am I here to deliver? So, for example, if I was, you know, I've been training with a Mayan shaman for many, many years in the Yucatan. And if I had been born as a Mayan, which I probably was in some lifetime, otherwise I wouldn't be attracted to the teaching, they would know from the moment I was born, the day I was born, why I was here.
Right.
Okay. They would tell them. They would be able to take it right from the calendar of the Mayan calendar that I was born to do X, Y, and Z. And not only that, when I was born, they'd have the tools. I was going to be a tradesman. They have my tools all set underneath my crib so that I remember why I'm there. If I was the Dalai Lama and I was incarnating, right, you know, coming through as the next Lama, they would bring me my bowl and my beads, right? And they would say, are these yours or these? They have 4 or 5 sets of them. I would need to identify which were my artifacts from my previous life. So the point is that we carry through these certain attributes from lifetimes to lifetime. So to know that in the numerology, that the when and where and why you incarnated at a certain time in a certain place really does tell you a lot about what you're here to do. Simple, straightforward, if you get the right source to help you understand that.
And I think too that the journey of figuring it out on your own is the adventure of it all. for me, that was the most amazing, the amazing part. Now I do it every day, and it's not as like, you know, a little child, like you said, like which bowl is yours, you know, which artifact is yours. That was the fun part. And I think people just want like, and Heather, I love you, but being spoon fed something for me to say, oh, okay, well, you're this and you're that, and this is what you're going to do. And that's not the fun of it. The fun of it is learning and opening up to those different things. And that's why dowsing is so fun, right? Right, Tyson? You take
Yeah.
a dowsing thing and it opens up your intuition, and you start questioning more, and more starts to open up. And I've been working with a gentleman, Tony, who's in our class. What's our class name?
Well, it's now it used to be called the Distant Healing Certification course, but now it's called the Master's Dowsing and Energy Healing Certification course.
Right. So Tony and I are working together, and in working with he and I, clearing houses together, and we sit and we look at, and getting him to close his eyes and go into his mind's eye and see what it is that he's seeing is amazing. He gets it right, and he, like, you know, you get like all giddy and excited like a little kid, you know. That's the fun thing. So doing the work and getting the feedback from your friends of being like, wow, you were spot on about that. That was amazing. That's the fun part of all of this. It's adventure. It's like a huge adventure, don't you think, Tyson?
Who are you anyway? Tony Tyson. Yeah, there's another part to it, is that I do have a 3-month program where I help you identify your divine gifts. And all of us have 7, you know, all of humanity has 7 gifts, 7 chakras. It makes 7 virtues. It makes a lot of sense that 7 is one of those things. But most of us have 3 that are more predominant than the other ones, right? Some of us have 4. And why is that valuable? Because you know the divine essence that's flowing through you has certain attributes. And if you understand those attributes, then you know when you're on, this is what happens. But more importantly, when you're at right angles and not in the divine flow or in your true nature, this is what's going to show up repetitively. And you say, oh my goodness, that's happened over and over and over again in my life. And now I understand why. And now I know that when it shows up, I can change it, right?
Yep.
It isn't, you know, it isn't, what do you call it? It isn't
Forlorn?
It isn't, what do you say, it isn't pre-programmed. It isn't my destiny.
Oh, right. You don't have to continue the cycle over and over and over.
Exactly. I now know.
You jump off and
Yeah.
start over. Yep.
Yeah. Now I know that this is not just karma. I mean, it is karma, but it's something that I get to choose to change, because now I know what it is. So if I know that these are my attributes, and I know that even these words resonate with 100% of my being, then when I talk to Laura using those words, she will understand who I am through those words, because those words resonate 100% with her of who I am. So now it becomes like the wordless sutra. I'm using the correct words. People understand what it is I'm trying to communicate. And therefore there's this alignment. So most people on the planet don't know that they have a choice. And what this helps you realize is you have a choice in every moment. Are you going to come from your human mind consciousness, your brain that thinks it knows? Or are you going to still that down and be quiet, go to that inner still point and come and connect from your true nature? And that's what dowsing is about. It's saying, where do you want the answer from? Your human mind consciousness that wants to figure things out, which really doesn't know the answer, or do you want to go to source, which really truly does? So knowing your divine gifts helps you sort out what's flowing through you, and what happens if you're not in that flow, what shows up repetitively.
And for me, I just ask God, please tell me truth, yes or no. Is this the truth? You're right, you know,
Yeah.
and I'll ask my question. And it brings you this peace within you too, to know that all the answers asked and it's given, and that they're all right there. And it brings this peace within you so that you can have this joy. Because like Stacy Ross asked, how do I get my mind to see this as fun?
Well, that's it, because the mind wants to make it into a problem. Your mind is trying to solve something. Your mind is playing with yin and yang, good
Mhm.
and bad. It has to make a judgment. It's
Right.
judging everything. So your mind is just going to keep you on the roller coaster. And if you like the roller coaster, if you want to be playing ping pong, or ride a horsey up and down, do it, go for it. But when you're sick and tired of that, right?
Yep.
And you just want to know behind the curtain, like the wizard behind the curtain. I'm the wizard in front of the curtain, but if you want to know the wizard behind the curtain, which is the Tao, this is like if I was in ballet and I went to a shadow show, the puppets would be behind the curtain and so would the light. And all I would see would be the shadow. That's the world we're living in. It's like the shadow reality. And behind the curtain is the real sun, which unifies it all, and there has no shadows. That's the Tao, or that's the essence of it, or that's your true nature. There is no yin and yang. It synthesizes it and it becomes both and. That's how you know that it's the truth of who you be, because it does bring you joy.
And there's no fear in it.
And there's no fear.
There's no-
And even there, Donald is still in his diapers.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to bed with that in my head now. Lord. Okay. Now Eduardo Ruiz asks, what is blocking me from getting good sleep? I wake up 3 to 4 times a night, and it used to be 10 times. It used to be 10 times. Thanks. I guess it's getting better. So
Yeah. When you go to bed, you could say that you could say to your elemental eye that runs all your breathing and your heartbeat and everything, this is my time to go to sleep. This is my time to renourish my body. This is my time to travel in other dimensions. So do with me what you will, but I want to wake up refreshed and renourished on this plane. And so that's what I do. I ask that be so. So
mhm.
I'm all over the place. I mean, I'm a multidimensional being, and my cat and I travel to many different dimensions, and some of it I can remember and some of it I can't. And some of it, I'm up and out of that bed sometimes 4, 5, 6 times, peeing or doing whatever. And I think, my mind goes to, oh my God, I'm going to be tired in the morning. I'm going to be tired in the morning. But if I agree to my soul contract that you can do with me what you will on the night shift, but I want to wake up healthy and revitalized, full of energy for the day, then I have no problem. So it's a contract you make. What's your night shift contract you want to make with Source? And if you don't state it, there's no contract. You're on automatic pilot. It's like the people that don't know that there's a choice that they can make between human mind consciousness and their true nature. If you don't know that there's a choice that you can actually tell your subconscious that what you want and program it like an alarm clock to do A, B, or C, which is what your deep clearing protocol is teaching you, that your job in your conscious mind is to teach your subconscious to run a program 24/7, 365. But the conscious mind has to tell the subconscious, otherwise the subconscious is going to run all that crappy programming that it got through miscommunication from the matrix or the way you were raised, or Aunt Martha said that you were not a very nice boy or whatever, going to run all those programs. So programming yourself and saying what it is you want is really important.
Also clearing out, I think, when I tap into them, clearing out before you go to sleep the day's issues, like putting it aside or working through it almost. And I
Yeah,
think
you could do that, but even more powerful than that. And I'm not saying don't do that. That's good. But don't forget, as important as clearing as installing. So what if you had a gains book? So my gains book is, where is it? It's somewhere on my desk. Every day I write in what was the gain I had, which is, so one of the ones is we just signed a contract for taking this show to Awake TV. So that's a gain. So if I record all of my gains at the end of the day or during the day, then I'm saying I'm bringing more prosperity into my life because I'm honoring all the gains, even the littlest ones, right? And the universe says, oh, that's what he wants. Let's deliver that. So the UPS delivers all these packages I didn't order to my front door through magic because I'm putting that energy out. So yes, review what didn't work, but more importantly, go through what did work.
Right. Right.
Or end up with what worked.
And he said, great, I do clear, but I need to input. Thanks. So
Yeah, like installation, like install, initiation, intent, incarnation. This is the basis of magic. Okay, this is the basis of incantation. This is the basis of magic. This is the basis of alchemy, is what we're teaching here. I mean, it may sound like, oh, it's nothing. Well, it's everything. This is the fundamental basis of creating the world you wanted. If you don't know what you want and you don't state it, you can't manifest it.
Right.
Right.
Isn't that beautiful? And you can manifest it. That's reading the McCoy book right now. He's just like, and you have to believe it, and it's just going to happen. And he's really straightened out my mind on that. Like, when you ask for it, it will happen.
Yeah, I call it the 12-second rule. And this comes from working with, it was called on the Sacred Body Workshop. And it had to do with helping people with various techniques. Like must be, I don't know how many techniques, many techniques to help people heal from cancer. And the 12-second rule was as Claudia Scribner would point to me and say, okay, you saw what I did, or you heard what I did, stand up and do it. 12 seconds. You saw it, you heard it, stand up and do it.
Right.
No thinking.
No.
Just do it.
Just do it. Exactly. And trust, there we go with that word, trust that it will happen.
Yeah, there isn't even time to rethink about trust. Just do it. So this is what Harold was really getting across.
That is about trusting yourself and just doing it.
Right.
Like, stop being so afraid of everything and just do it. What's the worst thing that can happen?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't, right?
Oh
my God, what if it does?
Oh no! So by the way, I just got the latest publication from the Ozark Institute from Harold McCoy's wife, Gladys, in which she says that Harold's visiting many people and teaching them new techniques.
Hello.
So would you please write in to Gladys all the new techniques that Harold's teaching you so that she can compile them.
Cool. Yeah,
So again, let's go back to dowsing. And when you say you call in your light team, well, many people are having Harold McCoy on their light team.
He's amazing. He's amazing. I love the healing that he does.
So if you're interested in Harold McCoy, then head over to the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy, and his videos are available. I think they cost $6.50 each. And I think there's four of them. Highly recommend you download, and they're about an hour and a half each. So that's about 4 hours of instruction right there on basic dowsing and healing. Well worth it. And the next step would be to buy his book. So yeah.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. Love him. Let's see. We did have one with Annette Theodosin.
Hi, Annette.
I've encountered snake energy. If you do not clear it all, it stays in the digestive system or spine. Can dowsing and foca eliminate all?
Yeah, well, the thing about the serpent and the snake is that it's the most misaligned energy on the planet, right? So snakes have to do with your kundalini. They have to do with the rising of the Pangali and the Ida, the divine feminine, the masculine, that snake up your spinal column. And as the snakes come together at the top, the two crown nagas drip the secretion into the bowl of the brain, and fire that higher consciousness through the third eye and through the hypothalamus and the thalamus, and to open up your vista. So the snake in the garden, the snake of wisdom, is a malign being because it brought wisdom. It didn't bring punishment.
Nope.
They were already in Eden. They were already in bliss. Who in their right mind wants to be kicked out of Eden? Isn't that where we're going back to? I mean, they didn't have to work. They didn't have to struggle. They manifested abundance right there. It was right there for them. And then comes along this snake and says, well, if you understand the snake, you can continue to do this. It wasn't, it isn't, it's the snake of wisdom, not the snake of knowledge. The knowledge is the tree of knowledge is all these 12 Zephyroth and having to go to the tarot and move from this path to that path and learn this, you tested that. And, that's the long path to enlightenment. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, we've spent lifetimes doing this. Nothing wrong with it. But if you want the short path to enlightenment, get out of your own way. Go to the serpent of wisdom, right? Have a marriage with the snakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marry the good and the evil, or whatever, because the good and the evil is only a concept. Call it the light and the dark, or call it the positive and negative, whatever. But bring that shadow and part of you and that light being together. Have that sacred marriage and let your brain open up to a new vista. Why wouldn't you want to do that? So yes, the snake can be coiled up and it can be at the bottom of your spine. And for Annette, the snake has always been something for you that you've been writing about and thinking about. But what if you could marry that snake? What if you could have ceremony with that snake? What if you could bless that snake? What if you could dialogue with that snake? What if you could love that snake? And if I dare say it, what if you could have sex with that snake?
Or what if you could just become, with one and become the snake yourself?
Yes.
Then you don't have to clear it and you don't have to fight it so much.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
So I love it. I love it. That is the most powerful totem that you could ever have show up in your life. It means, Annette, you're nearly there. You never get that final test until you're ready.
I had a question today, and it just popped up in my head because of the snakes. So what would it mean if you had an egg with blood in it, and if you cracked open an egg and there was no yolk? So there's all of these old wives' tales or old a Latin kind of. It was one of my girlfriends who's of Latin descent, and her mother was bringing it up, and so it was a discussion that we had today. And what do these old thoughts, I guess, some people really believe those, and
like wives' tales.
Like why, where do they fit in all of this?
Well, are they coming from fear? Is it coming from human mind consciousness? Always check it with a pendulum, and always check whether it's coming from source.
Mm-hmm. I think that they were signs, right? So if they found...
Oh yeah, I mean, we've always wanted to use the tortoise shell for the I Ching, and the lines on the back of the tortoise meant certain things to us. I mean, we always wanted to go to the tarot or for some form of divination or geomancy to understand our way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's another way of using sticks or a pendulum or whatever as a tool for you, or like or like antenna on the top of a bug to focus in on a plant that it's going to eat. It's just a way of hypersensitizing some part of your being.
Uh-oh. I believe
I think we're frozen in time here.
There we go. Now we're out again.
Okay, we're out of it. Yeah, so we just did a shift in time there, alter dimensional. So yeah, there's nothing wrong. I mean, I love the I Ching, and the changes are so important to as a way of knowing how to align yourself with heaven and earth. I mean, when the emperor did that, the emperor realized that if he wasn't aligned with heaven and earth, everyone in the kingdom suffered. So it wasn't, so the coronavirus in the old China, if that was the emperor, he would be punishing himself for allowing his improper action between heaven and earth to allow the coronavirus to show up on earth. That would be his improper management of government. That's the difference, right? That's what it means to be aligned with heaven and grounded to earth, is that I Ching then tells you the steps to come back into alignment, which is again how to come back to your true nature, which we've been talking about throughout today.
Interesting. So Annette says, metaphorically true, but this individual makes me sick. Thank you.
Metaphorically true. This, who is this being that you want to make into a snake, or why is he appearing as a snake in a snake's skin, right? That would be the question. So
be the stories I think that we're telling ourselves too.
Yeah. When you've had enough of that snake will no longer have access to you. When you're done with the snake in that form will never appear again.
Exactly.
If this snake can continue to bite you, rattle its tail, and get you to jump around in fear, doubt, or whatever, it will continue to do it until you stomp that snake.
I guess what would be the underlying cause of wanting that kind of that fear in your life all the time?
Well, think of it. I mean, with this being, it has to do with sex. It has to do with control. It has to be if I can't control you sexually, or if you're not going to be my spouse, or if I can't have your undivided attention, I'll make your life hell until you say yes. That's what's going on there. So it is a snake in the evil sense of the misuse of that power. That power on the positive has to do with healing and kundalini and allowing that energy to rise, right? So if it was a divine being, that union of the snake energy of that snake and her snake would climb the ladder together into bliss. This is saying, no, you aren't letting me be your one and only pathway to bliss. So you can't have bliss anywhere else, and has you trapped. And until you say, well, F you, I'm going this path anyway, and whether you follow me or don't, that's up to you, but I'm onto a different path. But is that scary? Absolutely. Can that person create havoc? If you let them, yeah. But
if you let them, there's the key right there.
But if you have fear, doubt, or shame, or you think that they have supernatural powers or whatever, then you're empowering them to be able to mess with your life.
But we do have our superpower, which is free will. Our superpower.
Yeah.
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss? So we're coming up on the top of the hour. We don't have any more questions unless there's somebody beautiful out there that would like to ask another question.
And we have this pretty new sign and nobody's using it.
They're not.
No, they're all scared. So if you're in the Sedona area, I'm going to be doing a Dowsing workshop on March 28th and 29th. And if you're not in Sedona, you can join us through Zoom and attend that way. The Zoom Saturday will be available for everybody. And then the next day, we're going to be in 3 vortices in Sedona. I'm really excited about that, doing ceremony and connecting to the energies and how to work with vortices. We hope to have that filmed, and then that will be produced as a MP4 that if you signed up for the course, it will be sent to you after the fact.
Right.
So that's coming up.
What will they learn on the first day?
Basic dowsing and energy healing.
Awesome.
Yeah, everything from how to use a pendulum, how to do body sway, how to ask questions. It'll be really almost a run through of my book on dowsing and energy healing, personal transformation.
Yeah. So it's good for beginners, intermediates, high level.
Yeah, we will try and catch everybody up. If you've never dowsed before, we'll spend some time helping you get caught up, but we're going to go as far as everybody wants us to go. So we'll start off with, all right, welcome to this workshop. What would you like to learn in these 2 days? That will go up on the board. And that at the end of that first day, we'll say, what did we cover and where do we want to go? So wherever you want to go in dowsing will get covered.
Awesome.
So in other words, it can be from beginners to as advanced as you want.
And they get to spend a whole weekend with you, asking you questions, which, by the way, people, I would jump on this, because that's priceless right there, to be able to ask him questions all weekend long
That's right.
at your disposal.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And being able to do this at a high energy center like Sedona is going to be even more exciting, right?
Yep, and our friend Tony will be there. He's helping plan and prepare for this, and he's an amazing person as well. And so you guys gotta sign up for this stuff. Come on.
Yeah, you're going to have he's a Buddhist and I'm a Taoist. And so you're going to have two wizards, one Buddhist and one Taoist, meeting together. We've been talking for quite a period of time, and we're on the same page from two different perspectives. So come and join us. We are going to have a lot of fun, and both our wives will be there as well. And so you can get it from a feminine perspective as well.
Aaron and Ann, and they're wonderful women. I can attest to that.
Yeah. So I think we're near the top of the hour. Is there anyone last question? Anybody out there?
I'm gonna just check real quick, okay? I just don't think so. Everyone's giving us thumbs up and loves, and I think we can sign off.
Okay, let's call it a wrap. All right, same time, same place next week, at Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and
it would be at 8 p.m. Central Time Zone.
And
What?
there's other time zones.
There are. Go ahead. I can only get mine, and that's barely. It's 8 p.m. in Central. It'd be 9 o'clock Eastern.
Right, that's it. That's what we want. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, good.
Okay, good. I need a memo on this before we go live.
Okay, so same time, same place, every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific. What is it, Central?
8 p.m. Central and
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, and we're coming up to daylight saving pretty quick. So until next week, be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Bye for now.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.